guys, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. On this channel, I like to showcase the automotive culture and the positive impact it has on its community. If you're a car enthusiast or you like anything about cars, please be sure to hit the subscribe button for future videos. On today's video, I wanted to provide you guys with 10 tips before going to the Tail of the Dragon. I just recently got back from there. I wish I would have knew these 10 tips. Now, if you don't know, the Deals Gap is also known as the Tail of the Dragon. The Deals Gap is a mountain pass along the North Carolina-Tennessee state line, borders the Great Smokey Mountains National Park, and near the Little Tennessee River. The area is very popular for car enthusiasts, motorcycle enthusiasts. It's one of the most dangerous roads in the United States of America. It has 318 turns within 11 miles. So is it really that dangerous? It is. So get this. So in 1992, they changed the speed limit from 55 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour because there were so many accidents and fatalities that happened upon this road. This road is so dangerous that they've even compiled a death map. This death map shows all 40 deaths that occurred from 1995 to 2019. And I think you have to understand is that it's not the road that's necessarily dangerous, it's other obstacles that are in the road as well. So you're in the mountains, so you're going to get drastic weather changes at any given moment. You're also going to have local traffic on there, and you're going to have other tourists from out of town and stuff like that that are going to be riding these roads. But again, these are very, very shallow shoulders, narrow lanes. You can see on some of this footage, I have my GoPro on my rear bumper, and you can see how close the rear tire comes to kind of the bluff of the road on the shoulder. And then on the opposite side of the shoulder is the double yellow line. And this is something you never ever want to cross. It's kind of the unwritten rule of the road is to never ever, by no means, cross the double yellow. So here are 10 tips I wish I would have known if I was going to the Tail of the Dragon. The first tip I already mentioned is never ever, by no means necessary, cross the double yellow line.
Double solid yellows absolutely do not pass, especially here. There's no opportunity to get around it safely.
I would pretty much just say probably let's not pass.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Zero. Do not pass.
So the reason for this is because there's motorcycles that are coming from the opposite traffic direction. Motorcyclists are leaning into their turns, and the roads are so narrow that some of these motorcyclists that are going fast or whatever the case may be, their heads are leaning over. They could cross the double yellow. So if you're also crossing a double yellow, there has been decapitations because people have crossed the yellow line. So don't cross the double yellow. Don't decapitate anybody. Tip number 2 would be there are police on the route. And I had a first-hand experience of learning that. When I was driving the Tail of the Dragon, I was completely in the zone, kind of like when you're at the track. And I was just tunnel vision, kind of just focusing on the turns, making sure I had no obstacles in my areas, the whole nine. However, I was so focused on the roads and really enjoying the route itself. But just so that you guys are aware, there are police on the route. They're going to be on motorcycles, and they're going to, there's a bunch of blind turns. So just be cautious of that. My advice would be to drive the turns at the posted speed limit, which is 30 miles an hour. You'll get plenty of enjoyment from that. And on the straights, kind of take it easy. Don't cook the roads too hot. But just be aware that there are police on the route. We only did see one police, but it's the luck of the draw. Tip number 3 if you're going to the Tail of the Dragon, to plan ahead and have lunch at the Dragon.
Well, most times you can hear them talk. Other times you can. Same old cliches. A woman or a man. You always see my number. You don't dare make a stay. I said, here I am on the road again. Here I am up on the stage. There I go I'm playing the star. Yeah.
If you're in the tail, definitely stop by here. So this restaurant was really a diamond in the rough for us. We had a big group of us that took a road trip down. The atmosphere was great. The staff was wonderful. They had live music there. The food was good, and it's right at the beginning of the Tail of the Dragon. So it's a perfect lunch spot. Plan ahead for that. The food is good. Nonetheless, the Dragon Pit is kind of the spot that you want to eat at. So tip number 3, lunch at the Dragon Pit. Tip number 4 is to use the pullout. There is going to be local traffic on that road. There's also going to be cars that are faster than you. I would suggest to use the pull-offs when they come, or if you have a lot of traffic ahead of you, use the pull-offs, hang out for a bit, let the traffic kind of move forward, and then go and enjoy the road. Utilize them. I think they're really important. A lot of people that are on the roads do utilize them, and I just want to spread the word because it does make things much more efficient on that road when you use the pullouts. Tip number 4, use the pullouts. Tip number 5 is going to be more of a driving advice, and that's to be smooth with your turns. It's not an autocross course. Think of it as a road course. So you want to be much more smooth in your turns, kind of get that rhythm. Just be smooth. You don't need to be fast. You're not being timed. Really enjoy the roads for what they are. The different banks, all that stuff is it will take you in nice. So I would suggest driving smooth rather than driving fast. So tip number 5 is to focus more on driving smooth rather than driving fast. Tip number 6, if possible, drive during a weekday. We drove on a Friday afternoon and it was relatively slow. From what I've heard before going is the weekends do get pretty busy. It's a big tourist spot. So if possible, if feasible within your guys' schedule, do plan to drive this road during the weekday. You'll have a much better experience. So tip number 6, drive the tail on a weekday. Tip number 7 is be aware of local traffic. This is a normal road that people are going through that live there. If someone in a SUV is driving the roads, they're not going to be able to drive it as fast as your motorcycle or your sports car. So be patient. Again, not a race. Be aware of local traffic. Be courteous. Be respectful. If they are going too slow, like I said before, use the pull-offs, chill out a little bit, let your ego settle, and then continue to drive the roads. So tip number 7, be aware of local traffic. Tip number 8 is kind of tagging on tip number 7. Don't tailgate people. Please don't ride on people's rears. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't help the person in front of you, and definitely doesn't help the person behind you. It actually will make the person in front of you a lot more anxious and more likely to make a mistake. You don't want them to drive off the tail. Like I said, some of these are bluffs. So you could cause an accident to an innocent family. So chill out, lower your ego for 5 minutes, use the pull off like I said before, and let the local traffic go ahead, and you can follow later on. So tip number 8, do not tailgate. That rhymes. Tip number 9 would be to plan to explore some of the other roads on the Smokey Mountains. I'll leave some links below for Route 16 is a popular route that we saw. Highway 421. I forget what it was called, but that is another very popular route that's in the Smokey Mountains. Plan ahead of time, but be sure, since you're already there, you might as well explore some of the other roads. Tip number 10 would be that there are photographers on the route. There's I think 4 or maybe 5 photographers that are on the route that will take pictures of your car, and then they post it up to the Roadkill website. They'll have the photos on the website for you to purchase. They organize it pretty well, so per the date, per the time that you were there. So again, focus on the roads. Somebody will take a picture of your car. You'll get good shots of your vehicle, but focus on the roads. So tip number 10 are photographers taking pictures of your cars on the route. Bonus tip. So my bonus tip is if you're going with a big group of people, bring walkie-talkies. Communication is absolutely key. Service is spotty. My service was okay for the most part. I had Verizon personally. But I know some people are on other carriers. The service was a little spotty for them. So I would bring walkie-talkies. It's easier access. They're cheap, and they last forever. I think the walkie-talkies was easily the best communication tool that we used on the route, whether signaling if there's police or accidents or anything like that up ahead, that we were able to let everybody know. So those are my 10 tips, guys, or 11 tips. If you've been there a few times, again, I've only been there once. Please let me know in the comment section below if there's things that you would add, things that I overhyped, or let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And if you are headed out there, best of luck, have fun, and be safe. So with that being said, thanks again for tuning into today's video. We'll check you guys out on the next video. Peace.